business owner and looking for an opportunity to network and collaborate with other like-minded professionals, executives, and community leaders? Well, look no further. Exposure Spotlight Magazine has launched its business network group, and you're invited to join us where your business can grow. Just look for us on Facebook at Exposure Spotlight Magazine Business Network Group. Are you looking for the key to your castle? Choose a mortgage company that works for you. Ambassador Mortgage. Don't miss out on your dream home. Pick up the phone now. 225-341-3551. Ambassador Mortgage, a mortgage company that's changing lives and making dreams come true. Hello, everyone. This is Teresa Perkins, editor, host of Exposure, Spotlight Magazine and Talk Show, where your voice matters. I am very proud to have a conversation with a very special friend who is our guest on today. He is a gospel radio show host and personality at KFSR Radio at Fresno State University in Fresno, California. He is a gospel singer and a devoted husband, a champion for anyone affected by so-called birth defects, and a child of God, of course. In 2015, he released his book, Let Me Tell You My Story. He is the chief executive of the Doc Lewis Foundation that supports individuals and families with disabilities. The foundation mission is to help lift the arms and spirits of people who are working to overcome the challenges they have been set before them. He states, their success is our success. Their joy is our joy. It gives me great honor to introduce to you and the one and the only Doc Lewis. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you? So thank you so much for having me right here on this amazing show.
Oh, you are so welcome. I am so excited to have you here. Look, we have been friends for a very long time and been waiting for this moment to take place to have this conversation where you can share with everyone, the world, about your story. And look, and I know you have a story to tell because God is so good. He has been so good to you. And I tell you, we have learned that we cannot listen to even what the doctors say or anybody else, what they have to say. Nobody but God, right? So listen, I want you to first share with everyone when you say, let me tell you my story. Because from my understanding, when you were born, you had a birth defect, correct?
Yes.
Okay, can you just tell us about that?
Let me tell you my story.
Okay.
It's going to deal with some things that you might not be accustomed to going through. The year is 1967, September 30th. I was born right there in Gonzales, Louisiana, to a single parent and abnormal. The baby came out dead, brain dead. And my grandmother was telling me before she passed, and my mother was telling me before she passed, that I only weighed 8 ounces at birth and my brain was dead 9 hours. And my grandmother went downstairs to pray for 9 hours, and then they heard a cry. It was me when she came back upstairs. Wow. But being born with cerebral palsy and diagnosed with that and living with that, it's a great joy and a great, I get a great joy. And I'm excited around the fact that God made me wonderful and he made me in his image, and I wouldn't take it back. So being born like that, went through a lot of challenges, a lot of changes, slept in shoe boxes and all of those things. and people looked at me in an abnormal way. But my family was very, very supportive. They knew right then that this kid right here is going to be something special. So we are going to rally around him and get him where he needs to be. So I'm grateful for my family right there in Gonzales, Louisiana, for doing what they did, and my grandmother and my mother, who took time out of their schedule to take care of a baby that was special needs.
Oh, wow. How awesome is that? Look, God is good. He really is. It's not just a saying, but God is really, truly good. And here it is. You were brain dead, but your grandmother and your mother prayed for you for 9 hours, and they heard this cry that they never thought that they would even get a chance to hear. But God, there he is.
Only God can do it, and it's amazing because when you talk about miracles, and a lot of times we can talk about a miracle from a standpoint of Scripture, but then when you experience the miracle, it really resonates and come home with you, because my family didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what to expect, so they needed God to guide them. No doctors wouldn't work with me at all. My grandmother was telling me only one doctor took the case, and that was Dr. Jack Lukes. Said, I'll take the case, I'll take the baby, because they said, look, they told the family there's no hope. You might as well get ready for a funeral. Go ahead and let the baby go. He's not going to live. There's no way. If he lives, he's going to be a vegetable.
Oh my God.
And you don't want to live with that all your life.
Yeah.
But prayer changed things.
Yes. Hallelujah.
And I'm here today because of a praying grandmother and praying mother and praying family who rallied around. And I'm here today, and the rest is history. Wow.
So amazing. This is such a wonderful story. And I look, I can understand why you wrote this book saying, let me tell you my story. And that is a great story to tell. But let me ask you this. How did you get involved as a radio host? How did you get involved with that?
I got involved with radio. The gentleman name is Lyle Boudreaux. He was working with KKXX 104.9 in Gonzales, Louisiana. And I was 8 years old. And he came into the neighborhood. I was living on Toby Street. And he came and asked my grandmother, could I take your grandson with me? First to be my bat boy, because he was a baseball coach as well. And I want him to go with me to do radio. And so my grandmother entrusted him with me at 8 years old. And she said, now, he cannot go with nobody else but you. And Lau said, I will take care of him. He would be actually my son. And he taught me the art of radio, from LSU football games, baseball games, basketball games, even at that time with New Orleans Jazz. He's the one that gave me my nickname Doc. Really, he is the creator behind the name Doc Lewis. He gave me that nickname when I was 8 years old.
Oh, okay, and that's how you got the name Doc.
So he's the one that got me interested in the radio, and I couldn't even talk. I couldn't talk, couldn't pronounce the words right. So they got me a tutor to go with me and teach me every day the words of the football players' names and all of these names I had to do and all of that. And Lyle wasn't easy. I mean, he would give me tests and say, hey, look, I want you to get your own voice, because I tried to mimic his voice. Mm-hmm. He said, no, folks are going to know you by your own voice, so I'm going to teach you how to do that.
Wow.
And so at the age of 9, I had my first interview, and it was with the governor of Louisiana. And I've been doing it ever since. But that's where it got started in 1975 with Lyle Boudreaux.
Oh, okay. Now, so who was the governor at that time?
I don't even know. I can't even remember the governor's name at that time. But I do remember that I got a phone call from Lyle. Lyle called my grandmother, and he asked for me. He said, look, I need to get doctor a suit because we're going to the governor's mansion. And I was the only African-American sitting at the table. And I'm always curious to know and ask questions, what job are you in? So I just asked the governor, what do you do? And did not know that picture was going to be in the paper. Wow. And but I was curious to know what they do in the governor's mansion and everything like that. And so being a radio personality, I've always wanted to be on a professional level. Didn't even know I was doing it at the age of 8 years old on a professional level.
Oh, wow. What a great testimony. What a great testimony. So, look, I'm hearing and looking at you now that you did not allow your medical condition to affect your career and what you know that God really had in store for you as a radio host.
I didn't actually, I couldn't allow that in my family. Let me say this, my brother Vincent and my brother Darren, along with my sister Karen and my big sister Chris and Mel Harvey, and they would not let me have a pity party because I had CP. No, they took me to all the basketball games. I played basketball in braces. I did all that. They didn't treat me any different from nobody else. My friends didn't treat me no different. They didn't look at my handicap. They looked at the talent that I had, and I couldn't. If I said I couldn't, my motto, I always said I could do anything. Right. And it's because of my family that I didn't give up. My uncle, he played for Texas Southern University at the time, and when he would come home, he would have this intense weight program that I hated to do. But he said, no, you got to do that because you got to get your left hand stronger like your right hand. And he would take me through these weight programs, but it all worked out. And he would say, look, no, you got to learn how to do this and learn how to do this just like the other kids. And so I learned a whole lot, even though I had to go through a whole lot. Yeah. In pain, I still was doing what I do.
You're a fighter, huh? You are a true fighter. So look, what is it, or better yet, how did you make the transition from Louisiana to California? So how did you end up in California?
I made that transition out. I want everybody to hear me when I say this because I was in high school. I was at East Ascension High School there in Gonzales. And my best friend, Dwayne Andrews, he's the coach now, there in Gonzales. Well, we was playing basketball for the school in the summer league, and he came and told me, well, they're not going to, they've already made a decision that you're not going to play basketball next year. And I said, why not? I am good enough. Well, they've already made a decision. It's not because of your talent. It's because of your handicap. And so right there, my sister was playing for, I think she was playing for Bakersfield High School in California. And I said, well, let me make a call. My mother was living in California. So I said, let me make a call. I'm gonna go to California and take my talents there. So I ended up moving to California. That's how I got here to Bakersfield High School, whom the Coach Hudson, loved me. And he loved my talent. And it was a great success for me to play basketball at Bakersfield High School under Coach Mark Hudson. So that's how I got to California.
Wow. That is really amazing. I mean, look, I'm just going to say that word throughout the interview because that is amazing. Here it is. You had cerebral palsy, and then you were still able to play sports as well?
Yes. I think it was in my blood because my family, sports was in my family. Started from my father, was a great baseball player and basketball player. Then it trickled down to my brothers. My sisters were the great basketball players. My other sister, my big sister, was a great softball player. So it was in my family. My uncle played high school basketball, high school football, and college football. So it was right there in my blood. So when it got to me, even though I had on braces, I still could play. I played around the fact that I had to be careful and all of that, and take precaution. But because I played the game because I loved it. And, the little kids were like, well, he got on braces, but that didn't stop me. I wanted to prove to them that I can be just as good as you with the handicap. And so I played. Some nights I would come home and folks didn't know it, that, my legs would be swollen and all of that. But it's because I wanted the kids to not call me names and all that. I wanted for them to say, hey, that guy is normal, that's a normal guy.
Wow. So, Doc, so with that being said, how did you get involved, or were you were involved in the Special Olympics as well?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
How I got involved with that, I used to literally play on the basketball team for Special Olympics right there in Louisiana when I was a kid, going to a special school and all that. And all of that. So I played. So I had in my mind, so when I get grown, I'm going to give back. So I contacted Washington, D.C. With Tim Stryver and the committee and all of that. And I told them who I was, and they didn't believe me. So they literally said, okay, thank you, and hung the phone up. And so I called back, because I'll keep calling until I get an answer. So I called back and I said, hey, I'm Doc Lewis. I'm a radio personality. I played in the games when I was a kid, and I want to give back. If I can broadcast football games or whatever I can do on the level, volunteer my services, I would love to do that. And when I called back, they looked me up and said, oh my God, you are a celebrity. They called me a celebrity radio personality. And so that's how I got connected. My wife and I started traveling international to Abu Dhabi, to Austria, London, wherever they had the Germany, wherever they had the Special Olympics at. And we got involved in it as a presenter, a speaker, and even broadcast some of the football games and some of the basketball games, me and Sam Perkins and some of the NBA players, and like Dikembe Mutombo, we was all there supporting the Special Olympics. And so that's how I got involved with that Special Olympics, just by making a phone call and telling them who I am and what I would like to do.
Okay. Now, what are some of the challenges that you face, as a radio host and, really with the condition, you having the cerebral palsy? Were there any challenges that you had to face?
Yeah, my challenge was when I walk, people looking, you come in the building, people looking at you strange, and they're asking you, did you get hit by a car, and what happened to you? You got the coolest walk in the town, and what's going on? Or they call you retarded. And I was standing in a place, and I heard some folks say, is that the guy? That's not the guy we chose to come and do this. He doesn't even look like he's capable of doing it. Mm-hmm. He looks retarded, and I welcome the challenge when folks say that, because then I can give an opportunity to tell them how God created me as a miracle and change. That's what I do, is change lives. Yeah. And so getting those challenges, I had to learn. My sister told me, I think I was 8 years old, and I did want to commit suicide.
Oh, wow.
Because of the names was being called. I was being called every name under the sun, from crippled to retarded, all those names. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go and try to just end it all. But my sister walked in the room. She said, look, for this cause, God have you in the world to change somebody's life. You don't need to do that. And because I didn't do it, we're changing lives all over the world. And so she said, why don't you take that negative and turn it into a positive? When they call you those names, do something great that they'll honor you and won't call you that again. And so that's what we do. And I'm thankful for her because she would tell me, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
You're going to be successful.
Well, that is great because you had, like you said, you had great support, from your family. And what greater support to have is to have your family on your side to let you know that you can do anything that God allow you to put your mind to. And I'm so glad that, God stepped in and allowed her to step in to talk to you because you are making a difference. And there are a lot of other people that have the same type of medical condition that you may have, or even something different. So what message or encouragement that you can give them or the listening audience that's listening that may have some type of disability or what have you? What encouragement can you actually give them?
This is what I would tell them. I would tell them this. Don't be fearful of your condition, because if you can't get out of the wheelchair, or if you're bound to a bed, or if you walk with a limp and you walk with your hand funny, count that as a blessing. And then I use it as this here. Be glad that God made you the way he made you, because he made you for a purpose. Because you never know who is watching you and who life that you're touching. When you are living, when I see people in wheelchairs walking like me, I get excited. And so my advice to them is don't worry about you being in a wheelchair. And because you're successful, there's something that you got, a talent in you that will be released if you just wait on God. And if you're not a Christian, let me say it like this, in this way. If you just wait, you'll have your opportunity to express yourself and tell people what happened to you, because you never know that some people in worse conditions than you, they're going to need your story. Yeah. And so that's what I tell them. And you can have a handicap and still be successful. Yeah. That's what I tell them.
Right. Look, what a great encouragement and a great message that you just gave, which is really great. And really, a lot of times you don't have to have any type of disability or anything like that for, people to give you negative vibes or share with you that you can't do this and do that. But just that message and encouragement alone is something that everyone that's listening can take heed to and know that they can do anything that they put their mind, heart, and soul into. So I thank you for that advice. Now, let's talk a little bit about, and look, you have received a lot of awards, and from my understanding, you are nominated for the Texas, what is that? Texas Gospel Music Excellence
Excellent,
Award? Yeah.
Texas Gospel Music Excellence.
How did you, well, I'm not going to ask how did you become nominated, but how do you feel about that, to be nominated as one of the best gospel radio hosts,
You know what?
Feeling about that.
I'm so humble around the fact that they would even take time to recognize little old me. I'm always humble because I tell everybody, I'm just glad my name is written in the book. But I do thank you that you can honor me for the work that I'm doing and that I've done and still doing. And I'm so excited. I get excited around the fact because I start getting my wardrobe together 3 to 4 months. When I hear that I'm nominated for an award, I automatically start getting with my designer and say, what can we wear on the red carpet? So I'm excited to play the music from the artists that are also nominated with me, but I get a joy out of it. It makes me feel great that somebody can think about little old me.
Yeah. Look, it's not just little old you, you're a big old you. Yes, you are. So congratulations to you on that. That is truly awesome as well. Now, another thing I wanted to ask you too about your book. I mean, I'm sure it's still available to where people can purchase it. You know?
Yes.
So can you give us that information as well?
Say it again.
Can you give us the information where everyone can purchase your book? Or?
Yes, I believe it's still connected to Amazon.com. You can go there, or you can inbox me on my Facebook page if you need a copy of this book as well. I'll be able to get it to you. You can go to www.doclewis.mystrickland.com and inbox me, and we'll get a signed copy to you. I'll be honored to do that for you.
Great. Now, another question I want to ask you, how can those that are listening and would love to support your foundation, where you're helping other family members that has, or families rather, individuals that has some type of disability or what have you. I think that's a great thing that you're doing as well with the Doc Lewis Foundation. So how can, those that are listening could contribute to that?
They can do that two ways. You can do it through Cash App, $ Doc Lewis Foundation, or you can mail a check or money order into the Doc Lewis Foundation, 1318 East Shaw Avenue, Fresno, California, 93710, Suite 305. They can do it like that, and it's tax deductible and everything like that. My board to get it. I don't touch anything, and they'll take care of it from there.
Okay, and we'll make sure that we post that too at the end of the show as well, so they can get that information. But again, remember everyone, you can inbox him, or you can reach out to me where we can get you his information to where if you want to contribute to this wonderful Doc Lewis Foundation, which is a great thing that he's doing. Now you have your Facebook Live show. So how often do you do that?
We do Facebook Live on Monday, Wednesday, Friday Talks with Dr. Fred Newsom, and Throwback Saturdays, 7:45 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. I love your show. I think you have a great Facebook Live show as well.
Thank you so much.
Look, I'm so excited because Exposure Spotlight magazine has over 250 stores, I believe. It could be more in the whole state of California at the wrap grocery stores. So we're going to feature you in there as well, so these people in your area and everywhere else can get this magazine. So look, we're so excited. And look, I can't thank you enough for being a part of Exposure Spotlight magazine and talk show. Doc, look, is there anything else that you would like to share before we end our conversation?
Yes. If you're around the Houston area, February 24th to the 27th, it's going to be the Texas Gospel Music Excellent Awards. I will be there, and you can come and meet and greet me in person and hear the voice on the mic, behind the mic of KFSR 90.7 FM on Sunday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the Doc Lewis Facebook Live show. So you can come meet me and greet me in person. And if you're in LA on January 29th and 30th, we want to make sure that you come hang out with us for the Grammy weekend.
Okay. Now, when is the Grammys? When is it?
It's January 29th and 30th. It's around that weekend right there. So we're going to be doing with Bishop Kenneth Wells and Jen, the Gospel Industry Network. We'll be having a celebration with gospel music there in LA. Awesome.
Well, look, I'm gonna have to get with you because I normally attend, the Grammys as well. But since the pandemic, of course, a lot of things had, kind of ceased or what have you. But I'm definitely gonna have to get with you. I may try to take a flight to California. So we shall see.
Yes.
But look, I really enjoyed this conversation with you. You have given us a lot of information about, the goodness and the greatness of God, and your testimony. I think this is so awesome. Look, I'm gonna call you, or sound like the kids, my homeboy here from Louisiana.
Yes.
So look, but he's in California right now. So, but again, we plan to meet again soon. But thank you so much, Doc, and I greatly appreciate it. And I want you to know this: your voice matters. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Exposure Spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tap into Exposure Spotlight and get the magazine and tap into it, because you'll see me. And not only will you see me, but you'll see all kinds of superstars right there in the magazine as well. And one, I'm going to put a plug in. One brother you'll see is my little brother, Mr. American Idol himself, Jovan Webb.
Yes, amen. That's right. Yo, Jovan. All right. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Teresa Perkins, editor and host of Exposure, Spotlight Magazine and Talk Show, where your voice matters. If you have a business, event, project, or even written a book and would like to be featured in Exposure Spotlight Magazine or be a guest on our show, you want to give us a call at 1-855-828-7200. Again, that number is 1-855-828-7200. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Richardson's Fashions, giving you the best in menswear, tuxedos, shirts, belts, hats, and so much more. If you need a suit or an outfit for that special occasion, give them a call at 985-662-5819. You won't be disappointed. Again, the number is 985-662-5819. The store that believes in suiting you. Sylvia's Caring Companion Health Services, a fully licensed home care agency providing professional excellence, reliable personal care that is needed in the comfort of your own home. Give us a call today and see how we can help at 225-382-2333. There's no place like home. Need an agent to help you find the right home? Well, start your next chapter with Realtor Kashila Garner at 225-278-3641. Again, that number is 225-278-3641. Purchase your new home today. Flavor has a story. Order your cake for any occasion with Rosella Sweets, wedding, retirement, anniversary, birthday. Have your cake and eat it too. Call 225-937-3536. 225-937-3536. The bakery that puts a smile on your face. Chateau Loyal, exquisite and elegant. You have tried the rest, now try the best. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Exclusive, priceless memories for your special moment. Call today 985-284-4397 to book your event for your special occasion.